Good morning, y'all. It is Saturday. I hate to say that date, but it is November. September 11th, a 20-year anniversary. Yours truly, Drake Swift. We're here with Gabriela Santiago-Romero. She is a Detroit City Council candidate that is running for District 6. We got Tori Savage Kitty and Alex Sportsmouth. Welcome, Gabriela. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now I'm like, and feeling some sort of way talking about September 11th just now.
Oh,
Right.
Feeling very grateful to be here and being able to reflect and talk about the work.
I was
Absolutely.
we were making the announcements, and I think President Biden, they were doing the ceremony. And as we were talking off air, I just can't believe we talked about it last year during our podcast, but I just can't believe it's been 20 years. And Alex told me he was laying in bed. You were in 4th or 5th grade. I was at my bar, probably hungover. Tori, I don't know where you were.
I was driving my son to school
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I
in
was
St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
I couldn't remember. But wow, I just can't believe it's been 20 years. So kind of crazy. Reflecting on that day, reflecting on all the images that you relive, with the buildings, with the planes crashing, with all the first responders jumping into action. So never forgotten, always remembered. So we'll move on from that. I just wanted to touch base on it. I know it was our 20-year anniversary. So pretty sad day for this country. So and hopefully we're getting back. I remember after the fact, right? We became a pretty tight country. I know the last administration has kind of divided this country, and hopefully we get back to being one nation. So, like I said, she's running for District 6, and I think we've had a couple candidates on. How many zip codes is that, Gabby?
How many what?
How many zip codes in that District 6?
There are 8 zip codes in District 6.
Now, to me,
wow.
when we talked off yesterday, when I think of District 6, I'm thinking of Southwest Detroit, right? But there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, a lot more.
04, 17. I don't know what other ones I'm missing, but I know there's plenty of them. She's right after the show, she said going door knocking. I think there's 3 candidates left. You got Hector, and I don't know the other person because I think they're a write-in candidate. And then we've had David on the show, and he dropped out. So tell us, why should District 6 vote for Gabriela?
Right off the bat. So hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for really the time to briefly introduce myself and try to make a case for why I think I would be a really good city council member for our district. So again, my name is Gabriela Santiago-Romero. I'm an immigrant originally from Mexico, but I grew up here in Southwest Detroit. I'm calling you live from the house that I grew up in since I was 6 years old. This is my old bedroom, now my office. And for me, growing up in Southwest Detroit and growing up in the city of Detroit in general, I've been very blessed to be surrounded by social justice warriors, activists, organizers, people who are rooted in community, people who fight back, who fight for us, people who have raised me to the person that I am today. And the work that I do right now as a social worker, I got my MSW from the University of Michigan. As an organizer, it's all very personal work to me. For me, I'll share my story briefly. I always start my story by talking about the first time.
Yes, please.
Poor. So the first time I found out I was poor, I was in middle school. I was watching my mom cook dinner for us, and I was crying to her for new shoes. I wanted new Jordans because all the girls in school looked fresh, and I wanted to look fresh too. But she told me, Mika, I can't buy you new shoes, and I couldn't understand why. But I knew poverty was a thing, so I asked her, Mommy, are we poor? And she turned around and laughed at me and said, you didn't know we were poor? And no, I had no idea that we were poor. Growing up, there was food on our table. The lights always worked. The heat was always on. The house was clean. You know, what you think poverty looks like was not what my life looked like. What's not what many of our lives look like. But my mom worked incredibly hard as a single mother to every single day put her pennies together to pay the bills. So for me, I do this work because I know the struggles that our families deal with. I have stayed in the city. I have worked and educated myself and stayed rooted to my community to be able to serve us because I believe that we deserve better. So for me on council, I want to serve us. I want to give us the care that we deserve and make sure that we are all able to live our lives with dignity.
Can I ask you a quick question? Did you, well, it's not that long to think back, but was like that the moment, or what was the moment when you like kind of, I don't want to say knew what you wanted to do, but you were like, I want to help people, or I want to do.
Yeah,
you know
you knew you wanted to make a change.
So what, like, when was that? When did you have that moment?
Sure. So interestingly enough, I think since I was a little kid. So I think part of it is the way that I was raised. Part of it is the city of Detroit and how we really come together as a community. I think a lot of it is just who I am as well. Growing up, I grew up very Catholic here in Southwest Detroit, and I believe that I am very dedicated to my faith. I'm very dedicated to making sure that we do better, and I really truly believe that we are all put on this earth with a vocation, with the possibility to really do more for ourselves, for our communities, for our families. So ever since I was little, going through Catholic schools, knowing about vocation, knowing that there's a God, knowing that when we die, we go somewhere, I'm like, well, let me do the best that I possibly can. But I really never knew what I wanted to do growing up. Again, I was an immigrant. No one in my family has ever gone to college. We don't have careers like that. Like I don't know any politicians other than just recently. So really, I had truly no idea what to do. I just prayed on it. I just became very engaged, started to protest in the 5th grade, started to then, didn't stop being engaged since then. So slowly as I got older and I realized what an activist was, what an organizer was, what a social worker was, what a good civil servant like Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is, it made me see the possibilities of what I can become and what I can do. So it's been a journey. Frankly, I never knew that I never wanted to be a politician. I grew up protesting them.
And now you're like, what am I doing here?
But it's truly seeing women of color like Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, my councilwoman Raquel Quesada Lopez, say Senator Stephanie Chang, who I worked for when she was in the House. Incredible young women of color who really love their community, who show up, who pick up the phone, who call back, who do the work, made me realize that I could do this too.
Right.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So, I think we've shared a couple times, I always wanted to be a politician, but I just got way too many skeletons in my closet. So I you know what I mean? Like, so I would be in trouble.
Listen, if Trump could do it, you could do it.
Absolutely.
Come on. You ain't got that many closets.
You can't be a politician unless you have skeletons in your closet. So
you ain't got that many closed closets.
Coming from,
not everyone.
Right. I thought that was the requirement these days.
Oh, no.
You have to have these. I'm just kidding.
So there you go. I'm running for president in 2020.
Hey.
Coming from a mother that was very out there in the community. I think you probably know my mother, Jane Garcia. And I think my brother told me, he said he knew you. He told me last night, oh, you're having Gabby on your show. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So I know my mom knows a lot of people. And I know a lot of people. My brother, I don't know really if he knows anybody, but he knew you. I was making fun of him this morning because
Some Gabriela, he just knows the important people, right?
Yeah, we're having a birthday party for my nephew, and he came. He lives in about an hour and a half away. So he came to stay at my parents' house, because they're in Michigan, so the house is empty or whatever. But like I said, I always wanted to be a politician, but I spent some time in DC as an intern when I was in college, and I like that the politicians were able to just spend crazy money and they didn't have to tell anybody. So I thought that was great, right? But I was there during the bounce check era. You know what I mean, where the senators were bouncing checks. So, like I said, I was like, wow, I think I want to be a senator. But you know what, Gabby, I really enjoyed your story, coming from an immigrant family and going out there and fighting for Latinos or people of color. And I think that's the biggest thing is we don't have that voice, you know, we don't have that Cesar Chavez anymore, right? We don't have that person of color that is really fighting for our people, because we had this conversation yesterday. She says she's fully vaccinated, you know, says that kids should wear masks, you know, people should wear masks. So we're not spreading that. And people of color are so distrusting of the government and that, you know, not to get the shot. So, and you can kind of share your thoughts on that, on public health. So go ahead.
Sure. So when it comes to COVID right now and what we're seeing, and I mean, you brought up people of color and distrust, which is very true and very real. I myself was also weary of the vaccine as it was running out. I have friends that are nurses and, you know, in the medical field, I would text them like, hey, are you doing this? Like, I'm legit scared. I don't know what to trust. Like, so I've gone through the process. I questioned it. I was scared. I doubted it. But I want to believe in science. I want to believe in progress. I want to believe we no longer live. I want to pray that we no longer live in a world where the government will harm people through vaccinations, through the medical field. And that's so. If I want that to be the case, then I have to believe that we're doing that work, and then we have to lean into that, because then that is the reality. And the reality is that in this country, I believe the majority of folks that are vaccinated are white folks with the same vaccine. And they are okay. So for me, it's like, if our main concern is them targeting us with this vaccine and how it's not gonna, like, you know, how to harm us, actually what's going on is that we are not vaccinated. Our people and family are still dying. We're still getting sick, while the rest of the folks with the privilege and the access are receiving the vaccine, and they're good and healthy. There are developing countries. There are other countries who have less means than us, who are begging for the vaccines, who are not getting the vaccine until 2022. And that is horrible. And those countries are the ones that have the second, third, like, strain. They're going to get more strains of what this COVID virus is going to look like. So for me, I understand it. I agree. It is a fear. I respect the process that we are all in, to feel the trust that we need to feel to do it. And I think all we can do is have the conversations. I'm not going around yelling at people to get a vaccine or, you know, talking about it. That's not how it's going to work. But I do think that we need to have these conversations, hold people in their fear and distrust, and talk through that, do more discussion, because really, until someone feels comfortable, they're not going to do it, and I'm not going to force someone to do it. Although right now we're seeing the federal government with the new plan on how to get it done, but I think that's because, like, we're not doing it fast enough. When it comes to public health, we're actually in danger of it getting worse.
So, you know, I talked to you about it yesterday.
Great points.
What's your thoughts when Biden says, you know, anybody that has a company with 100 or more employees, they're going to be required? What do you think about that mandate?
It makes me really happy to see the federal government stepping up. I am not going to apologize for that. It is what I believe local government can and should do when it comes to public health, when it comes to our society, when it comes to how we're able to maintain our health. So for me, I was actually angry, frustrated when Trump was in office and he did nothing. Like, there was nothing worse than just feeling like wishing that somebody
all he did was instill fear.
He was just like throwing phrases out there. We'll be all right. It's okay. We're strong.
Well, he ignored it. He blocked it. He diverted it. He said it wasn't real. This is not happening. We'll be fine in a couple weeks. You know, all that. And all that did was just instill not only fear, but it made people believe that he was telling the truth when he was telling us all lies. And it came out proven that he was telling us lies.
And
that created the diversion in us and the separation.
Played a lot of golf.
He what?
He played a lot of golf.
Yeah, his golf game got amazing.
Yeah.
And then our hospitals were at capacity. Our hospitals were at complete capacity, and we lost thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Right, and our medical workers and all our frontline workers are stressed and putting their lives at risk, and it's just such a domino effect from that action.
So when you hear the president say that he's going to hurt people's pocketbooks if they don't get vaccines, I think Tori brought it up last week. I don't know if it was Southwest Airlines or American. They said basically, or what were you saying? That
it was one of the major airlines. Don't quote me on which one. It was a major one. I think it might have been American, but a few weeks prior, they had made the announcement they were not going to mandate vaccines, right? They weren't going to force their company. They weren't going to force their employees. And the employees were like, yeah, that's our company, right? Well, they left out the fact 2 weeks later that they announced, we're not going to force you, but we are going to charge you $200 per check if you don't. Mm-hmm. So they didn't force, but they forced that fee that you have the choice and we're going to leave it up to you, but do know that there's going to be a penalty with it on your paycheck.
So what's your
thought? We're not going to force you.
When a company says that they're going to charge that employee because they're not vaccinated?
Well, as we just saw, people think that vaccines mandating is wrong, which is okay. You can believe that for you to do so, right. But it's also wrong when you're sick in the hospital because you didn't get vaccinated and you're using resources that could be used for other people that are still dying, that have cancer, that have other kind of diseases, regular diseases that we have as people. But because some people are choosing not to get a vaccine that will help us all collectively get better, then we're going to charge you what it's going to cost when you're at the hospital and when you're dying. And when you have other people in our company at risk and getting sick, because that is the reality that is here. This isn't a game to me. Right. This isn't there is no reason to even be fighting about this. It is numbers. It is science. It is facts. It is numbers. If you decide not to get a vaccine and people are getting sick, people will be in the hospital using resources that will cost us money. It's costing not just lives, but money. So then you're going to have to pay. If you're
in the long run, right.
It pays to be free, I guess.
Right. It's taking away from other people that need care for other illnesses and diseases that are incurable or that are not necessarily a voluntary disease that they're choosing to ignore.
Well, some doctors have already came out, Gabi, that said, right, if you're not vaccinated, I'm not going to help you. And I know that kind of goes the oath that they took. You feel that you should support those doctors because they're like, look, dude, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to help you. I would love to help you, but you need to be vaccinated for me to help you.
I don't think it's the doctors saying that they're worried about them getting sick. I hear doctors saying that they have so many other patients, so many other
backed
people
up
who need to be taken care of. And when people who are young, unvaccinated, when they are stuck in their conservative beliefs about what is right and what is wrong and what is freedom and what is not, and because that's really truly what this is. Because I just read in France, a population of primarily white folks, they themselves have thousands of people protesting. Well, they are also kind of a very conservative space. So I think this is less about white and black and whatever the case may be. I think it's about our conservative beliefs, beliefs that everyone is for themselves. You can't force me to do anything because I am a human being with my own autonomy. That is true and that is great, and that we will respect that. But if a doctor has thousands of people who are sick, and there's a small population or a growing population of those that are just unvaccinated patients because they refuse to do what they need to stay healthy while we're putting other people at risk for and their health at risk, then I completely understand what they're saying. You have the choice to either get vaccinated, not be sick, but you're here because you didn't. And now I have people who are vaccinated, who are sick, who I need to take care of because they've done their parts for public health. To keep us from using our resources, the very limited resources that we have.
Makes sense. So I'm going to ask you, so tell me a little bit what your platform is. Is there three things that say, hey, you know what, this is what Gabriela Santiago-Romero is running for? Is there three issues that your platform is behind?
Yeah, so I have a lot of things that I really want to be focused on City Council. I think many of us don't realize how much City Council does or how much local government does for our lives. For me, knocking on doors every day, the number one thing that I hear is basic city services, which I completely agree. On my block, I live in 4210. I border Dearborn, just north of Warren. And I'm missing streetlights. We have blight beyond belief. We have missing sidewalks. There is glass on the floor. I can't walk my dog around my own neighborhood because I don't feel safe enough to do so because we don't have streetlights because there's glass for my poor puppy. So there are just people's alleys look like little forests. We have lots that are overgrown that are not collecting old tires. So for folks, they want the garbage picked up. They want the lights turned on. They want their neighborhoods to look and feel safe. So that's one. And those are basic city services for me. I'll include in that police response. I have been hearing from people that they call the police and that they never show up. So I tried it myself just because I'm going into this role, hopefully, and I want to be able to know what's going on. So I did call the police when I came home one day. It was 3:00 in the morning, and we have police. We have like neighborhood police officers that can come and mitigate conversations. So I was like, let me like request that the police, like the neighborhood police officer, come
let's see,
and let's see what happens. I call also that night. My neighbors on the street. It was again 3:00 in the morning, blasting music. We have seniors, we have babies. We can't be blasting music at 3:00 in the morning. So I was like, let me call my neighborhood police officer and see what happens. By the way, like I never do that. I always just go talk to my neighbors. But I was like, let me see, let me see what happens. I had doubts. And of course, I called the police. I'm like, hi. And she's like, what's the emergency? I'm like, it's no emergency. Just a noise complaint. I was wondering if I can get the neighborhood officer because it's my neighbors and it's 3:00 in the morning. And she was like, oh, this is you're actually calling Canada. This is Canada that you're calling. Let me put you over to Detroit. And I was like, excuse me? I called 911.
Whoa.
I didn't know that was like
that's not good.
They put me over to the Detroit line. And as soon as they put me over to the Detroit line, it's like, you called City of Detroit. Leave a message. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I was livid.
Right.
So
what if it was an emergency?
Going on. Exactly. So who am I supposed to call at 3:00 in the morning if something is happening? Because someone has tried to break into my home at 1:00 in the morning. I have called the police. They're going to send someone over. They don't come over to the next day. So what is the point when we have a bunch of money going into our police budget, and they
that
don't
needs
even
to be addressed.
need them to respond. By the way, I had to go to my next door neighbors and be like, "Excuse me, neighbors, please turn down your music." And I did, which is what I always do. But still, like, that was proof that people, like, we're not complaining just to complain. Like, these are
first of all, you called Canada. Wait, what?
I doesn't know. I did
How?
Not.
Right, exactly. How did that happen? She's lied.
Yeah, so there's that. So that was one. Safety, basic city services. Housing is another. So we are being gentrified. Things are gentrifying very quickly here. Even as we're building affordable housing, it's not truly affordable because it's affordable if you make $50,000 a year. My mom was not making $50,000 a year. So that's not affordable. So looking into truly affordable housing and what that would look like for folks is really another priority. And lastly, for me, is our environment, the safety and the health of our environment, air, clean land, clean water. We live in one of the Southwest Detroit's 4217 is the most polluted zip code in the States. We had water, our Detroit River, a few years back. There was toxic waste chemicals that were thrown into the water, into the river. And I hear constantly that the land, the soil in the city of Detroit isn't good, healthy soil. I want to figure out why that is. Is it because of corporations? Is it because of just like the change of climate? So really want to dive into and evaluate our current state of our environment and think seriously about climate change. Because ever since I was young, I think that's actually another reason why I'm so engaged. I saw climate change happening.
Huge.
And I saw this beautiful planet very quickly be destroyed. And then when I studied international business and business school, I realized that we are truly going to destroy our planet if we continue to do development this way. We really are not going to make it past 50, 100 years.
A lot faster than we think.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Yeah, so, 60 to 100. I think we'll be dead. So
those are the things that I want to dive into.
Non-existent. Yeah.
So I got questions to ask you. So, and I can't remember as a child, growing up in the 70s, and I just said how old I was, but is there a reason why we don't have in the city beat cops?
Beat cops.
guys that are walking or on bicycles? Is there a reason why?
So that's a very good question, and we do have them. Only some.
Where are they at? I know
Downtown.
where they're at.
They are
Downtown.
in downtown, Corktown, Woodbridge. They exist. They are in the city.
Is there a reason why they're not in the more urban areas, like where you're at?
I have those same questions.
Not enough manpower. There could be a number of reasons.
So
they don't want to pay.
I think what they'll tell you too is that we don't have enough police officers. I know they're always trying to recruit more police officers, which, you know, I hear people want that, and I also hear people want people from the community to be getting these. So there's that. Doing that work is important for folks, especially for them to feel like they are cared for and safe in the city. From what, as I mentioned, what I'm hearing though is that we don't have enough cops, which is crazy to me because we have a lot of money in the police budget. The police budget is, I believe, the largest budget for the city of Detroit, if not the second largest, like for a fact.
It's up there.
So the other issue that we hear is that people don't want to be cops. So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, then what are the root issues of crime? Why is crime happening? Because also police don't prevent crime. They show up after the fact. Police are never like, let me stop this, and then it never happens. Police show up after the fact, or show up a day after. So they actually do not prevent crime. So for me, one thing that I'm very, very interested in doing is pulling records of what are all the phone calls that we're making and what are all of the concerns that we're having. Is the majority of them noise complaints? Because if that's the case, let's get more neighborhood police officers at those times so that we're able to address that issue. Is the issue home invasions? Where are those? Like, I want to collect that data and figure out what the issue is, and then begin to put folks into those spaces to address those issues. But for me, I really think that if we start to see that the majority of the crime is people just calling folks who are homeless from like in front of their business, then what the root issue is homelessness, it's houselessness. Then we should be investing our money into affordable housing so that we don't have the issues that we have, which is people feeling uncomfortable of someone who is houseless sitting in front of their business. So I'm very, very interested in bringing in social work lens and my lens as an evaluator to evaluate what are the issues. Let's look at the data, let's look at the budget, and figure out what it is that we need to be addressing.
Okay, so you're saying that the police department has the biggest budget. So my mom got robbed, I don't know, it was about 5 or 6 years ago. Cops showed up 3 days later. The city
they were in Canada.
Yeah, in the city of Detroit didn't at one point, because I know we went through bankruptcy, didn't pick up garbage for months. So as someone that's going into city council, I know from growing up during the Coleman Young era to the last guy that we locked up, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of corruption and a lot of mishandling of money. The city of Detroit has been known for that. So when you say Detroit City cops have the biggest budget, is it really going towards the police, or is it really not? I'm just playing a little devil's advocate.
Sure. No, that's a valid question. So if you look at the police budget, a lot of that money is going to a new helicopter. We have new police cars. We have new radars that can hear when a gunshot rolls. And these are all very expensive technology pieces. The city of Detroit, we have military gear in the city, ready to fight. Who? I don't know what. We don't have soldiers here fighting a war. So our money is being put into equipment that is high technology, that is very militaristic, instead of it going into the neighborhood cops that we want to see. Because frankly, when I was in Corktown and I saw a neighborhood cop just riding around a bike, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, we're good. We don't need a military tank. If anything, a military tank makes me feel like I'm being targeted. I'm the victim. I'm the one that's committing crime. So that's what we're seeing, and this is a trend happening across the country. And this is really why Black Lives Matter movement came to be, because they started to look at police budgets from cities across the country and realizing that what they're doing is giving themselves more military gear, and what they're doing as they're killing more Black and brown boys, primarily Black and brown boys and men and people of color. We're not actually addressing the crime that your mom dealt with, because I have been robbed at gunpoint 3 times in the city of Detroit, and the cops do not show up, and if they do, they don't do very much. And frankly, when the last time that I was robbed, it was at work. Each time it was at work, and this was during the recession. This was during the recession when people were desperate. They needed to pay bills, and this was at a restaurant at San Lopez on Michigan Avenue, which is where I was working since I was 15 years old. And the second time it happened, they quit. I said, I can't do this anymore. I feel scared. But after a week, I realized I didn't have any money because I was poor. So I had to go back to work to a place that made me feel uncomfortable and unsafe because the police never showed up. And the very first day I went back to work, we got robbed again.
Wow. God bless you.
Each time it's by young Black boys. And this time around, it was another young Black boy with an older Black man. And this time the cook in the back was screaming bloody murder. She was like, don't shoot, don't kill me. I have a family. And I looked over to the older gentleman, and there was tears in his eyes. He was crying. He said, shut up. I have a family too. And that's when I realized we are all screwed. We are all screwed. None of us want to do this. I don't want to go back into a place that makes me feel unsafe. Nobody wants to be stealing and robbing restaurants. So I said, take the money and please go. And that night, I was so heartbroken because I have, as I mentioned, been fighting for social justice issues, racial issues since I was a kid. And I felt like, why me? But then I realized, you know what? You're not special. That these things happen to all of us. And you care enough to know that this isn't personal, that this is systemic, and that you should stay in fight so that no one has to do that again.
Okay, so you're talking about poverty. So I got a question to ask you. So the pandemic money from the government has gone away last week. When someone says, you know, Gabriela, I can't pay my bills because I'm afraid to go back to work because of COVID. You know, I'm afraid to get sick. I've been sick, whatever the case may be. The government was helping us, trying to get us out of this this pandemic. What is your, you know, what do you say to that person that you want their vote for, but at the same time they're like, man, I can barely make it now they took that money away?
Sure. So I wouldn't have nothing to do with the federal government and what the money has. So I will find ways to make them realize that I can support them in best ways possible when it comes to the city council, when it comes to what we can do here locally. It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue because I want to make sure that people do feel safe going back to work. I also want to make sure if you're not safe that you're able to receive funding, but I also know that funding can't be done forever. So for me, I think this is just like, there's a process that has to be done. The process is that we have to have, as a society, as you know, as a whole, our vaccines. COVID needs to go down. COVID needs to go down, and in order for that to happen, we need to get vaccinated. So if you can't get vaccinated, if you want to stay home until the rest of us get it together, until the rest of us feel safe enough and feel comfortable to get vaccinated. That's going to be an issue for folks. That's going to be a real issue that we're going to constantly be coming across. So I think that's one, is that process, making sure that people feel healthy, feel safe, that those of us that can and that will get vaccinated sooner rather than later, so that people are able to feel comfortable going back into the workspace. People love their jobs. I hear people like loving their jobs, wanting to go back. Like, you know, like many people, as much as people want to talk about other people, like, they don't want to be home. They are scared. They do have health issues. So for me, it's not about one person, about that person. Like, I would just remind them, this is not their fault. This is not their fault, and like, your feelings are valid. And also, we need to, as a society, make sure that we are doing what we can to support folks like you who are home scared, making sure that we collectively bring COVID down so that we are able to go back into the workforce feeling safe. Because until then, the government does not want to just keep giving out money to support people. But I know that we have ARP money coming in from the federal government that the Detroit has. I'm really interested in making sure what we're doing with that money to combat COVID and to support folks who aren't able to go back to work just yet.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about gentrification. So I talked to friends, you know, I'm pretty connected to Southwest Detroit. So I go back quite often. But when they tell me, look, they're building new houses, but the rent is $1,800 and 48209, I'm like, what? $1,800? Like, really? Like, how do they afford that housing?
So we're being pushed out. People are leaving. People can't afford that. People are going to the burbs. They're going to Lincoln Park, Allen Park, Taylor, Southfields, Southgate. People are not staying, and that is gentrification in the definition. We can't afford $1,800 a month. We cannot. So until we figure out a way to make rent less than $900 a month for folks, $800, $700 for folks, which is people. That's still hard, but people will find a way to get roommates to pay for that, to pay for that, the rent. I know that's what I hear even my parents talk about that when they were younger adults, like I did the same thing, right? So until we're able to provide real affordable housing, people are leaving.
And even $1,000 is a huge difference than the 18. That $1,800 is.
They don't even want to pay their car insurance. I mean, on
well,
top of that,
that's the thing. Their car insurance is just.
That's what.
Yeah, Michigan's car insurance. Y'all car insurance is insane.
And
I absolutely. When I lived there, I just thought that was just normal, right? This is normal. Our car insurance, I'm paying $500 a month. This is whatever,
mine wasn't that high.
Well, I'm riding dirty for $500 a month, right. and then you get put into the cycle because now you're riding dirty. Then you get pulled over. Then it's like, okay, I got to go to work. I got to take the kids to school. I got to do these things. I can't afford all of this. So then, bam, you get hit with the ticket, and you get hit, with non-insurance, and it's just one, and now you're stuck in the system for something that. You just can't help. You're trying to survive.
That's why I always.
And they're like, well, don't drive. Wait, how?
And lift,
Yeah.
And then they suspend your license, right? Yeah. So now you have all of that too. It's just it's a vicious cycle.
So I got a question. I know that's a huge topic in the city of Detroit because of car insurance, and I know that they were able to reduce some people's car insurance and stuff. Is that a topic for you at City Council?
It's a topic on doors for sure. It's an issue that the state deals with because it's state policy that really creates that price tag for health for insurance, for car insurance. I know that one thing the mayor did was lobby the state. That's something that I can also definitely do. I can definitely connect Detroit residents to when those hearings are. Connecting them to our state reps, to our state senators, and say, hey, thank you for sharing your story about how incredibly expensive it is to pay for your insurance. I myself rode dirty all through college. It wasn't until grad school.
Girl, ride now, 10 and 2.
And it's not.
Don't move.
It's not fair. It's not fair because it makes you feel a certain way. You shouldn't I would pay insurance.
The PTSD from riding dirty is
and
you get home, you're like, thank God I made it home today.
It makes you not even want to,
you got to wake up the next day and do it again.
Do it right over. As soon as you see a cop or you see something happen, you freeze. You get this pit in your stomach. You're like, I'm not even doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. And then on top of it, it makes you not want, when something does happen, right? It makes you not want to report it because you're like, I'm not even supposed to be driving right now. I'm being told I'm a good person. I go to work. I'm a great citizen of the community, and I can't even report something because they're going to give me a ticket. I'm going to just mind my business.
Now, if you're out there driving around for no reason, you want to drive just to go, you're drinking and all that stuff like that. Hey, that's on you.
No, but you know how many times that I have been pulled over going to the grocery store? Like things like that, like survival stuff.
And that's when you'll get busted. When you go right down the street. But when you drive 20 miles away, not a cop in sight.
Right. Or I'm driving real good. And the person next to me acting a whole fool and I get pulled over.
So riding dirty is
scary.
You lying. I always had insurance in Port Huron, and I didn't live there, but I used the Port Huron. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I didn't have no friends in Port Huron.
I
I don't know what
I'm
you
under
mean.
my
But
parents' car insurance, and they live in Lincoln Park. So that's when they moved to Lincoln Park. That was very recently. They lived in Detroit our whole lives. So unless you have someone that you can know that can put you into their account, that doesn't happen. Like me and my whole family, like we would ride that way until they moved out, and the insurance dropped down drastically. That now I pay less than $200 a month for my car insurance, and that versus the $800 that they were asking for. So it's incredibly impossible. It's incredibly expensive to be poor. There is so much shame that comes with so much shame and fear that comes with this with living this way, that it's important for legislators, lawmakers to know this is how much more difficult my life is by us not changing this policy. And frankly, if you changed it, so many more of us will be able to pay, and that's more money into your pocket. So why are we not doing this to actually help us? Why? It's because I honestly believe the system is set up to keep the most poor, the most marginalized people of color in this system of poverty. And that's something that many of us have to fight and have to be serious about when we take these positions.
Big tug of war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was unfortunate to lose my license, not because of insurance, but I had a heavy foot. But I was able to pay a driver. I had a personal driver. But
you fancy.
We had a personal driver. I did.
You fancy. I rode around without a driver's license for literally the most foolish things for like 7 years. When I got that driver, and I am not ashamed to say it because I made stuff happen, but when I got that driver's license, I took a picture with it. I was so proud to finally jump out of that vicious circle. I didn't tell people I didn't have a license. It wasn't something I was proud of. But it was like, you get one, it's just one thing after another, And then when you finally you think you can afford insurance, they're like, well, you got 3 suspended licenses on your record. I'm like, yeah, I know, for no insurance. Not for running out cops, not for DUIs, not for drug charges, not for being a bad driver, not for blowing lights, because of the insurance. So then they're like, okay, well, that's going to be such and such amount. And I'm like, man, I just can't catch a break. Okay. I'm riding out. Goodbye.
I got a political question to ask you. So Texas has went against the Roe versus Wade abortion. It is illegal after a woman is 6 weeks pregnant. What is your thoughts? Do you think other states are going to follow and do this? I know that they are getting sued by the federal government, but we've had this topic and it keeps coming up just because it keeps coming up in the media. So what's your thoughts of abortion and then the whole law that they passed in Texas?
So my thoughts on abortion is that it should be legal because it's needed. It's important. It's public health. So that's what I think of it as abortion. It's a public health need. Because people.
I'm sorry.
You're totally fine. Because people who are pregnant many times find out that their baby is unfortunately stillborn, that there might be a complication of the birth. So like you're at risk. So I myself am, I myself will choose if I was to ever get pregnant, and I always told myself if I was to get pregnant, I would have the child. That is my personal choice. Even if I was at the worst, even if I was at at the worst part of my life, I was that's my choice that I would make. I will not judge another person for having an abortion because of whatever reason. They don't even have to give me a reason, but it is their body, it is their choice. They do what they have to do for their lives. So it's a very real fear that I have that laws will change, especially here in Michigan. The governor is asking legislators to not let what happened in Texas to happen here. And when we have Republicans both in the House and in the Senate majority, it's a little worrisome because things, like elections do have consequences. Like like politics is real, and whether or not we want to engage with it or not, things are happening. So having our governor asking legislators here to make sure that doesn't happen again is incredibly important because there is that fear that it could. And this is where people, need to call your legislators and letting them know, hey, you cannot let what happened in Texas happen here, or you will not be here next time. You will not be here for the next cycle.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt you. We have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? Maybe not. They disappeared. Okay. So, yeah, you don't want
I
that.
agree.
Michigan, I definitely, amen. I think I've said my views, and I think everybody on this podcast has. It's a woman's body, and she should have a choice.
Yeah, every situation is different. It's not just so black and white, cut and dry.
Right.
I don't think a politician should have anything to do with his body. Period.
And like she just said, as a woman, I mean, I kind of think, I'm not trying to speak for all women, but they kind of know if they already, whether they want to keep the baby or not. Most, in my opinion, I would think.
And not necessarily, because
no, I mean,
I know a lot of women that this is a very hard, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to paint a picture of everybody who has an abortion as just this killer, right? Like, it's like, you know what, got pregnant, kill the kid, done. That's not how this works. Most women who have to choose this option are choosing it, and it's a very hard decision for whatever reason it is. And there's so many variables that come into play. The health of you, the health of the child, the health of your other children, illnesses, the fetus not forming properly, there could be hemorrhaging. There's just so many different variables that could come into play. I'm a special needs mom, and there are so many variables in that aspect of looking at what your child could be born with, the chances, the risks of you carrying that child, and the life that child may or may not have and suffer, like full on suffer. When you look at those things, most of those women have stuff bought for the baby. The room is being put together. The nursery is being put together. They have a name already picked out. These aren't easy choices. Right. Or the woman who goes into a coma and now her family has to decide, and her spouse has to decide, do we save this child or do I save my wife? These aren't, and then you look at the hundreds of thousands of children in the foster care system right now. So if you're so pro-life, what about those kids? Because it doesn't sound to me like you're pro-life at all.
Get him! Hey, we got a caller on the line. Caller, who's it?
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Eladio Nino. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, Eladio.
Hey, Eladio.
So, Eladio, we got...
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
We right back at it again, huh?
Yeah, so...
Hey.
Good morning to everyone. It is a good morning, ain't it?
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
We got Gabriela Santiago-Romero. She is running for District 6 in Detroit. So he does live in Michigan. Do you have a question for her, Eladio?
No, I just wanted to really applaud her. I work as a youth mentor at the Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation. And, I know Angie Reyes is very supportive of youth. I run my own podcast here in the neighborhood called the El Nino Podcast, Real Everyday People. So, I've been really expanding my horizons and getting involved a little bit in the politics, just getting familiar with, the politics of the community. And, I've met David Sanchez. I've befriended Hector Santiago. And, I just really, more than anything, I just want to applaud, because you and everybody who's involved in being pillars in our community, and really trying to make change. My family is the Romero family. They grew up in Corktown. I got like 7 uncles and 100 cousins in the neighborhood. And, when I came out of prison a changed man. I served 17 years in the MDOC. And, since I've been home, my only mission has been to be a contributor, to give back, and to right my wrongs in my community. And, I hope maybe one day, soon I can, meet you. We can sit down and maybe work together. Or you can come down to the DHCC and we can build on something.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. It makes me really, really happy because this work is incredibly hard. And I'm so glad to know that you're looking to get engaged, and that you've been doing the work of being engaged, because many of us need to do that. That's really, truly how we'll create change. So I'm more than happy to walk down the street from our campaign office right there on Bagley and Trump in Corktown to say hi, to hang out in a new dope space. If anybody hasn't seen DHCC recently, It's beautiful. It is the coolest new spot in the neighborhood. Check it out. And absolutely would love to connect, sit down, talk about what some of your dreams are, and just put those together. Because for me, I'm doing this work. Yes, I want to run for office, and I want to be a good civil servant. But I'm still an organizer. And I know for me, I want to be doing both. I want to be making sure that we have the right policies and budgets in place, but also then supporting people on the ground who are doing amazing work. So thank you for that. I am very happy to be able to build with you.
Beautiful.
Thanks a lot.
No, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Salute you guys, man. Keep up the good work. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Eladio. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
So there's he has a local podcast. Definitely, if you want to hang out with him, I think he does it every Monday. I don't know what time it is. I think I want to say 8:00, but definitely, he'll probably reach out. So, is there any other questions? I know we had a caller, so let me call them back. Hold on. I think
we call you back. We're gonna call you back. We want to hear what you got to say.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, it's your brother.
Oh,
how's it going?
Oh, hey, brother.
Hey, Gabriela, how are you?
Hi, so I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. So, where do we begin? So many hot topics this morning.
Wherever you like, sir.
Kick it off.
Yeah, vaccine mandates. We're talking about abortion. Gabriela should be running
all
for
the things.
Are we running for president?
No,
she said no.
I want to.
One stepping at a time.
I've got things to do.
I can't. Thankfully, I wasn't born here, so I can't do that. No thanks. I'm good.
You said thankfully.
No thanks.
Respectfully and thankfully.
I respectfully decline the offer.
At least you're honest.
Steph, did you have a question?
I didn't really have a question. You guys are talking about a lot of different topics this morning, but as far as like abortion goes, more and more states are starting to do this shit where they're just basically taking away women's rights. And the reason why it's such a hot topic every presidential election is because no president will step up and try to actually force Congress to get legislation done, because this is something that the states should have this taken away from, and it should be on a federal level, not on a state level. Because then you got all these backwards country bumpkin states where they want to just basically eliminate abortion because they feel it's wrong, but it needs to be taken care of on a federal level, but we won't have any president that will actually step up and get that done.
True. Now, Texas has been trying to get to be their own country for a long time.
Well, they're not the only state that's done this. I believe Mississippi's done this too, where they pretty much have eliminated abortion, but nobody talks about Mississippi.
What about California? How is that looking over there?
Well, California, they'd probably have you try to abort the kid at 2 years old.
Right.
Talking about
that's why I asked you for a reason. I just wanted to see your take for sure.
Now you're talking about something totally different.
All right. I appreciate you calling in. Right. Well, I'll see you at the birthday party. So, Gabriela, I appreciate you for coming on. We talked about a lot of different things. We're going to let that sit in with a bunch of different people.
I got one more question for you.
Sure. Go
real quick. Let me get to their page. I went to the your page, district page, and I seen just for the pet lovers out there, I figured I'd bring this up. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Pets that have supported Gabriela campaign. I was just a little interested.
Now we're talking about the important stuff.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
I'm
you.
a cat guy.
Really
So,
I have all the animals all the time.
All of our favorite constituents, the animals. So I am a dog mom. I have a dogger, Sophia, and I'm an animal lover. I think many of us are. If you're not, it's fine.
No.
A little side-eye, but that's fine.
If you're not, I'm judging you.
But for me, loving animals, making sure that, which by the way, animal control is an issue in the city of Detroit. For two big reasons.
Tell me about it.
Just the amount of stray dogs that we have. Here, I can't walk my dog around my own neighborhood because of the streetlights, because of the sidewalk, but also because of the dogs. My Chloe, who passed away last year, my other German Shepherd, she was attacked twice by stray dogs, so I couldn't walk her around the neighborhood. So that's really not okay. So for me, I know that I've made it when I feel comfortable enough to walk my dog around at night. So that's the goal.
Right.
Yeah, that's my goal. But one of the goals. But while I'm out in the community, people have their dogs, their cats, there's birds, there's chickens out. And I've been asking
right. The chicken one is what gets me. I'm like,
I've been asking folks if it's okay for me to, take photos with them, because for me, people like, this is a special crew right here. Not everyone really cares about politics. Not everyone really cares about engaging with it or following it. It's not fun for folks. It is incredibly toxic. It is full of corruption. People are just like, they want to get over it. They don't want anything to do with it. So really the pet for Gabby was our way of being fun, because I believe that fun is powerful. It is bringing people in. Even if it's through fun, there's, do it with fear, do it with love. I do it with love, and bringing people in, just with like a little fun. So we've asked people to take photos of their pets if they support us. They're on our website. If anybody here is a supporter, send us a photo of your animal.
I have a question. Have you?
Your dog's so beautiful.
Have you been in contact with anybody from the Detroit Animal Care and Control? I have a friend over there who works very, very hard to try to save all the animals on the street. Yeah. I mean, she is, man, I got to give it to her. Her name is Chantel. Shout out to Chantel. She is working day and night trying to make sure that they are, they come in, they get off the street, they get adopted. They're not, being euthanized. Every week I see a cry for help. Show up, show out, come get these animals, please. She's putting them in fosters. She's putting them in other shelters. If you would like to be connected with her, I think that would be an amazing thing for not only the city, but for them as well, because these animals deserve, a second chance, but also to figure out maybe a game plan on how to slow down all of these strays and really come up with a plan for it. Because I see these pictures. I stalk her page, right? And every animal, I'm like, oh my God, I want to fly to Detroit and pick this dog up. I need to get this dog. My heart just goes out to them and to her. And to see the work that they do over there is just absolutely incredible. There's one day, she's crying out for help saying, I got 98 dogs, show up. And the next day she's like, I have 3 left. Thank you. And I think that it's a huge topic, it's a huge issue, a huge problem. And there's people out here who really want to make a difference in the city and love their city, and they love those animals, and they love people who love them as well. And so, I think that's, something that definitely needs to be addressed. And if you're one of those people, I think you got it in you to make it happen.
Yeah, please connect me to her. I said there was 2 big issues when it came to animal control in the industry. The second is what you mentioned right there as well. So I've been following the Instagram account of the different dog shelters, and there's a photo of the city shelter with the roof completely collapsed. So what we need is more money into shelters, more money into staffing, and that is something that I'm going to be looking into. So I will love to connect with her.
Absolutely.
What the issues are really, so that again I can evaluate what is the cost that we need, that we need to be like upfronting to be able to address these issues.
Absolutely, and that's huge. The funding is huge. I mean, again, I have so many people that I see that, when she sends out her cry for help, I'm so grateful for those people that donate and bring supplies. And these are just basic things, right? Blankets, food, toys, upkeep for their building, and on top of the emergency care that these animals need. But it's a huge issue. It really is. It's huge. So I'll definitely get that information to you.
Thank you.
I love all the pictures on there. They're so amazing.
Thank you.
Your German Shepherd reminded me of my grandmother's dog, Sophia.
Yeah.
Reminded me of my grandmother's dog, German Shepherd.
So cute.
They're great.
So cute.
Awesome.
Wait, one more question. I know this is an important one. Do you put clothes on her?
I do. Just bought her,
her
Halloween costume. So
what's she gonna be?
She's gonna be a shark. Last year she was a rainbow.
I don't know if you guys can
dark this year.
see that, but I'm trying to.
I love it.
Sorry, I'm trying to show the picture. Sophia.
I'm one of those people that just go to the pet store and walk around and talk to other people's animals.
I
don't even say hi to the people. I just talk to the animals.
And the puppies and stuff.
Yeah. Like, excuse me, tell your dog I said hi. Right?
Walk around with
Sophia,
treats in your
we
pocket.
said hi. Always get a treat in the glove box too.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Awesome. Can you tell us when the day for the election is in the city of Detroit, and where can they find you if they want to just contact you?
Yeah, so if you want to check out the puppies, the Pets for Gabby, or any other information on the campaign, you can look up on our website. It's my full name, Gabriela Santiago-Romero.com. You can. I'm going to write out some more bullet points around some of the issues and that I want to be addressing and what that looks like. You can contact us. You can donate. You can also sign up to volunteer. So election day is November 2nd. We are officially about 8 to 7 weeks away from election day, and we've been working really, really hard every single day, but we still need all the help we can get to get us through this last hump. So if you have some time, if you're in the Metro Detroit area, if you're in the city, sign up to do some doors with me. I'm going to go knock on doors right after this until like 7 o'clock today. And then we are also looking for donations. You can donate online as well, and come out to help support us on election day. And don't forget to vote for November 2nd, or vote early or vote absentee, because we're allowed to do that. So vote early if you can. Don't forget to vote if you haven't by November 2nd. And you can check out my website.
Right. No excuses either, because I just got my voters voters mail about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. So no excuses.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Good luck out
Thank you for joining us. Keep up the good work.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Stay
Have a good
safe.
one.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
So my brother said he wanted to talk about other things. He's like, man, you didn't let me talk. I said, well, when you out here, you got to talk. You can't be quiet. You got to
talk. No dead noise. No. We have to keep it flowing. Yeah. All the topics, all the time.
You're like, we got to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them
call back. Call back. Tell them to call back.
Promo, man. Come on.
We got all kinds of stuff to talk about today.
So, Florida appeals the court rules in the favor of allowing his ban on masks and mandating schools to stand. Thoughts, Tori?
So, I mean, my thoughts are kind of still the same. What the fuck? Really?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? As a parent, don't you want your child to be as protected as possible from the unknown? Because even though you claim you know, does really any of us know, right? Does any of us really know? And the number of children that are unvaccinated that are getting this and dying or hospitalized is alarming. It is so high right now. And, your kid may be clean, but little boogery Joey next to you might not be as, clean as your child. So, and kids, they don't care. They wipe it, they brush it, they lick it, they touch it, right? They sneeze on you. Yeah, they're lickers, pokers, boogery, the kid things, all the kid things. Don't you want to protect your child? Because I've heard friends of mine, sorry to interrupt you, I've heard friends of mine who said, their kids are like, oh, we were at school and the kid next to me was sneezing and coughing and he's not covering his mouth. Like, you don't know what this is going to do to your child. Yeah. Put the mask on your child until they know. I know it's not easy. I know some kids have sensory issues. Right. I know that some kids are having issue with stuff touching their face. I get it. Those kids need to be made accommodated for. Maybe those children need to stay home. Number one, keep your child safe.
Right. Yeah.
Your child don't care how it got here or who's doing what. Keep your child safe until no more children are dying from this.
Did you see anything like recently? On like the mask, I seen an interview. I don't know if she was a teacher, but they were just talking about how it was a doctor actually, how to talk, to communicate with your kids about the mask thing, because if they're gonna wear them, I mean, this is like another whole topic of getting bullied and how to
I didn't even think about the bullying thing, because you are instilling these things in your child. Then your child's taking it to school, and they're talking shit on to the other kids.
Yep. So there's, saying like, if a kid is at school and he's wearing, getting made fun of, you have to wear a mask. Well, communicate to your kid, your child, say, well, this is the way we do it. My parents want me to wear a mask. And they were saying there's ways to communicate with your kids and lead by example. And they will go along with it. And you can still be friends in school. No matter, if you're in third, fourth, fifth grade, you know what I mean? So
that's a great point.
I thought, and I
didn't even think to that point.
Mention that. Me neither.
At all. Right. That's
but
huge.
I just was surprised that, I was like, wow, how come nobody ever has brought this up in the past almost 2 years?
Mind blown. Right.
But I thought that was a good thing that she was talking about that, and because you don't think about that.
You don't think about the kids being bullied because of this. You think them being bullied because they're not wearing the Jordans,
right?
Because they're not doing certain things. But this has now become a topic where kids, again, kids don't
like they don't have enough.
Kids are not born with this. I'm born and I'm a bully. They learn these things, right? They pick these things up at home, whether it's from other siblings or circumstances, or their parents who are kind of bullies themselves. Because let's be real honest, there's a lot of adults that are grown-ass bullies, and they just think that they're being,
that's the way they were raised. Once again, that's where it comes from. It starts at home. And I used to tell my daughter, I would always tell her every morning, I was like, be safe, have fun, don't let nobody mess with you, don't let nobody mess with your friends. But I would also tell her,
you know what I thought?
Put their hands on
What'd you say?
Don't say no wooden nickels.
Right. No wooden nickels.
We got a caller on the line. Caller, who's this?
Hey, how's it going? Turn your radio down.
Okay, well, he said unfinished business. So Biden declares sweeping new vaccinated mandate, and I know you're saying no. What's going on? Tell me.
Well, first of all, I'm still tripping that people are paying $500 a month for car insurance in Detroit. What the fuck's up with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's an average. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nuts. So, anyways, vaccine mandate. I didn't get to hear everybody's views on it. Are you guys all pretty much for it or what?
I'm for it. Get it. Fuck it. Fuck your freedom. Fuck your freedom.
I personally am for it. I'm tired of
it's already in me,
dying.
So it's too late.
It's in me. It's been in me. I'm fine. I'm not having any issues. I'm not a magnet. Things aren't sticking to me. I haven't turned into a zombie yet. I mean, maybe like on Friday mornings, but other than that.
In the words of Arnold, easy with the hardware. Fuck your freedom.
Fuck your freedom. I'm just tired of seeing friends and family members die.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but if we're going to start mandating vaccines, then where does it stop? That's my question.
When you get vaccinated, I guess. Or,
yeah, get vaccinated.
I mean, I'm not trying to be. I'm just for real. That's my opinion.
Everybody's got kids, right? So, like, they're talking about in some states, like California, like if you're not going to vaccinate your kids, that they could actually take your kids away. Like, there's a lot.
Now that's insane. Of course, there's lines, right?
That's insane. I would say taking your child away is a bit over.
Okay, but so who gets to determine that? So
I think that if your child's not vaccinated, your child shouldn't be able to go to school, just like all the other vaccinations, unless they have a underlying condition that prevents them from getting vaccinated. Because let's face it, there are people that have underlying health issues that the vaccine shouldn't be going in because it's going to create more problem than help for them. Not everything is so black and white, but the ones that are healthy that can, I believe that they should, for public safety, because it's not even just them, they're affecting the person next to them and the person next to them and whoever they come in contact with. So it's not really just a you thing, it's an all of us thing, because my actions are affecting your health.
I see your point though, Esteban. I see your point. Like
yeah, I see your point as well.
I definitely get your point. There is
I understand your concern.
I agree with you to that point, but
I don't think children should be taken away because their parent didn't get them vaccinated. I don't think that's right.
And to tell you one thing, my daughter is going to start in her senior year. She chose to do school online, and she's not vaccinated yet, and her mother works in a hospital. So, and I asked her, was she going to get it for her? And she said, no, she hasn't responded back to me. We're going to talk about it. But so I feel you. And you know what I mean? I'm like,
Well, she's
it's
probably
scary,
scared.
man, either way. So, and my daughter was like, well, I did want to get it, but you know, like I said, we're going to talk about it as, you know, as together and go from there.
Yeah.
But it's a scary
Cover her
thing, man.
concerns.
For sure.
But-
So I see both sides of it.
Scary for all of us.
You're saying that, you know, as last time I checked, you were vaccinated for measles and mumps and chickenpox. So why could my children be mandated for COVID? I'm confused.
That was so long ago, though.
Yeah, but have you seen a vaccine schedule for children? So now, you know, your youngest is 11, but my youngest is 5. So the difference between the vaccination schedule between my son and my daughter are way different. And between the vaccination schedule between my daughter and me in 1980, the list is like a book. Kids don't have all the vaccinations that they recommend. They only have all the vaccinations that are necessary because my kid's doctor is more on the natural side. So and she's like, well, they don't necessarily need this.
When you say recommend,
there's a recommended and then there's a required.
Which ones are those?
Those are only like a handful of vaccines.
Okay,
so
which
like
ones
my kid,
are they?
I couldn't list them off the top of my head, but they have like the MDMR. Well, like so like when we were kids, the measles, mumps, rubella one, that was like one shot.
Okay.
But like for my son, that's like 8 different shots.
Wow.
Like so you had to like spread it out. And the reason why kids were getting sick is because when you're a baby and they shoot you with like 8 different vaccines at once, yeah, there's bound to be some shit that's gonna happen. So what we did was we spread out the vaccines for my kids.
Okay.
And is that some of the reasons? I just want to ask, Drake, so do you think that that's some of the reasons why some kids grow up with having, you know, diabetes or
autism
or yeah, and, you know,
exactly. Yep.
And you know, whatever it may be. So okay, wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you've seen, especially in adults like 40 years old and younger, a lot of the autoimmune disorders that doctors pretty much have no answers for, they can really trace them back to a vaccine injury. So, like, if you were kind of a sickly kid or, you know, things like that, you know, the doctors really couldn't explain. It was just viewed a little differently back then. But also,
we got the technology now.
But this was kids not reacting well to vaccines. And now that they're 30 years old, 35, 40, they're having all these underlying health issues that the generations before did not have.
Right.
And the reasons why is because these vaccination schedules are getting longer and longer. And now that our kids are getting older, what kind of health issues are they going to face? And these are all vaccinations that are FDA approved. I am vaccinated with the COVID shot, but I don't know if any of you guys read all the paperwork. I read all the paperwork on the shot.
I actually did, man, and I was still going to get it, but I did read it. Yeah. I did.
Well, I mean, there's paperwork on pretty much just living in general. My question for you, though, is you brought up the difference between an adult vaccination and a child vaccination. So you are saying that the adult vaccination is a lot simpler and it's not so much compared to the schedule for a child. So do you feel that if all the adults got vaccinated, it would lessen the chance of carrying it over to a child who's unvaccinated? Do you think that that could be possibly a solution to the spread of this?
Absolutely, because they know that it affects kids a little differently. Kids can get it and not even show any symptoms whatsoever, but you are going to have other kids that are going to be susceptible to it. But like I have a 12-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, you know, they're trying to push these, you know, vaccinations for the kids. There's no way in hell that I'm going to give my kid a COVID vaccine, especially with it not being FDA approved. And that shit usually takes years anyways for them to really test it and approve it. And there's just no way that I'm going to have my daughter live the rest of her life if she's going to have complications from a stupid vaccine that she doesn't even really need. So there's no way that I'm going to make my kid a guinea pig. I'll be a guinea pig. I'm 40 years old. I'm already halfway out.
Well,
So
FDA, the FDA
I'm not putting my kids through that.
The FDA just texted me. They approved it. So.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean shit. I'll give it a few years. You know that shit is rushed, right? That shit is way rushed. Even the adult one now, and it's only through Pfizer that they're saying that the FDA approved it. But did you know that there's 2 top officials from the FDA that stepped down because they felt that it was being rushed through and not all the necessary testing? So there's just a lot of bullshit that goes along with it. So there's no way in hell that I'm sticking a vaccine in my kid for this COVID shit.
No,
you can't start mandating.
I mean, they can do what they want, but I get it.
So what if they mandate it just for adults but not children? How would you feel about that?
Well, every state's gonna fight it. The federal government is really overstepping when they're trying to say we're gonna penalize big corporations for not forcing their employees to get vaccines. But you really, I mean, you want to force a mask mandate? They can't even do that. They can't even enforce that shit. And they're going to try to enforce people saying, oh, well, you're going to be penalized if you don't get a vaccine or this and that. If that's their choice and they don't want to do it, then don't do it. Make that person work from home. There's other ways that they could try to work their way around it without trying to penalize someone financially. I mean, there could be religious reasons. There could be all kinds of reasons why they're not getting vaccinated. Make them put on a fucking mask and make them wash their hands. There you go.
I feel like the religious reason thing, I feel like so many people are using that as a cop-out and they're lying about it. That alone, I'm like, why are you just lying? Just figure out another way to go around things. Don't use religion as a lie, but I guess, it's just my view on that. I know too many people are throwing that card and it's not true, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
In regards to the adult and child, I'm sorry, in regards to
put a needle, when you're putting a needle in somebody's arm by not having a choice, I think that's totally wrong. They can't start doing that to people. Because there's no line then, and where does it stop?
No, I get it, but I got to be honest with you. Narissa is vaccinated, and Nati will be vaccinated. So I get it, but it's everybody's choice. I want to be able to make sure my kids are safe, and if there's consequences down the line, then there's consequences. But I'm willing to take that roll of the dice.
I'll roll the dice for myself, but I ain't rolling the dice for my kids.
There's certain things about the children's vaccine, and I'll have to look at the schedules and stuff, and I like to do research on it. And again, I understand that a child's chemical makeup, a child, the way that they're developing is different than an adult. We're already developed. Certain things, our metabolisms are different. The way that, we work is different. A lot of things aren't developed in the smaller children. So I could see how that could be scary because, again, I've seen, if you've ever had a child, when the child, like you said, gets all these shots pumped into them at once, there's going to be a reaction. So I can absolutely understand that fear. And honestly, if I had a small child, I don't know if I would want to get my small child vaccine anyways, because that child's not coming in contact with people. But me, I leave the house, I'm coming in contact with all these different people, and I would want me to protect that child that I'm coming home to. I probably wouldn't be putting my child in daycare with other children, and I would have to find other means or work from home. So I can see as a parent how that could be scary because, again, you're trying to protect your child. Do I feel that the vaccinating your child at who's in kindergarten or whatever age they're going to be allowing it, or when they do, is the same as making your child wear a mask? I don't think it's the same, because wearing a mask to me is like your child covering its face when it sneezes, or somebody else not, covering their face when they're coughing in your child's face. I feel like the mask, I've been an advocate of a mask way before COVID-19 came along. Rona was not even a thing and I've been wearing masks to protect my special needs child. So I don't feel that those two in that sense of being, you know, concerned for your child is the same. One is internal, the other one is an outer protection, just like you put a coat on to keep them from being cold. That's just my view.
Right.
But I get it. I understand.
Well, like,
and then, like, you know, we have a viewer here that says more children today have allergies than ever before. It's from steroids that have been injected into the food that they are eating, which are FDA approved.
Believe it.
Yet you're feeding your kids poison. So
yes.
well,
that's
now
another
we're
topic.
a whole other thing that
Right.
A whole
Food's
nother
one
rabbit
thing,
hole.
but right.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
Sure, man.
I'll let you get to the party. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
God bless, brother.
God bless.
Bye.
Yep. Bye.
I want a party.
You want a party?
party.
You want a party?
Party
So,
all the time.
We
Party all
talked
the
about
time.
the mandate, we talked about the abortion. The Justice Department sues Texas over 6-week abortion ban. I think 6 weeks. You really don't know as a woman. I think maybe I'm crazy because most of those calls that I got, she was like in her 13th week. so, I don't know.
That's because hoes don't know that quick. Come on now.
Hoes don't know that quick.
Hoes don't know that quick.
I don't know.
He said, hell no.
Going out every weekend, shit.
Pop
So-
that.
Los Angeles School Board votes to end COVID-19 for eligible students that are to 12. So if my brother lived in California, would you have to do the religious thing? Or stay home, right? The Moderna is working on a combo COVID vaccine booster flu shot. Now I won't do that one because I don't
No combo.
combo. No
I'm
combo.
gonna pass on a combo.
Right. I just want to see if after this, I would hope that it's the last shots that we have to get. I want to see how many more we gonna have to. Are they gonna say, okay, you got to get another one after this time? Now you got to get. If this shit
So
keeps
the
going
booster,
on, I'm gonna start
the
thinking.
booster
shit.
is 8 months after you get it. Is that correct in
Right.
saying?
So I got till like next year still.
Yeah, mine's not till spring.
Right. So, but
like March.
Obviously they're not. There's things that they're still not, hip to, because that's why they're, the Moderna, they're, trying to make it where you only get one shot. So this is, it's an ongoing thing. It's gonna always be ongoing forever. So
hopefully it's just not so severe.
Right.
It's not so severe that people are being intubated and in comas, not being able to be with their families.
Yes, and the story that
in a blink of an eye.
With the 7 kids, I seen it. I seen it when it happened. I seen it Monday or Tuesday.
How crazy was that?
And let me tell you, that story was like, that one hit me hard. I was like, wow. I
just wanted to go on a vacation.
I was sitting there like, oh my God, that story hit me so hard. I was like, I almost wanted to. I was like, God, I wish I was.
So if anybody who hasn't heard the story or seen them, there's a husband and wife. They had 7 kids. They planned a family vacation. The day before the vacation, they were supposed to leave for Florida, correct?
Right.
The dad said he wasn't feeling well and he was going to stay back. So the dad stayed back. Mom went with the kids, took them to Florida. 2 days later, the mom feels ill, goes to the hospital. They admit her at the hospital in Florida on vacation. The dad then becomes hospitalized and in 2 different states, right? So the kids have to get, but now these 7 kids got to get back home, right? Leave their mom in Florida, who they can't be with. The mom starts becoming more and more ill. They end up having to intubate her. The father is going through so much stress and anxiety, even though he seemed to be getting better from COVID.
Right.
The stress of knowing his wife was being intubated and all of these things, he has a heart attack. So the dad has a heart attack, and then the mom succumbs to COVID. They leave behind 7 children.
Man.
Get vaccinated.
I mean,
even if you get it and you get sick, you're not the small percentage of you dying and leaving behind your children, your family members, your loved ones, and all the things in this world that you work so hard to have and be part of, and do it for them.
Yeah.
Because could you just imagine? My heart goes out to them. I mean, look at our friends. Look at Ashley Rose. Look at family members, friends that. Look at people we don't know making videos on their deathbeds, talking about, please don't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
look at the TikToker that made the video a couple days ago on her deathbed, and she said, I was about 70% sure. I wasn't sure yet. I still was kind of scared. It's scary, trust me. I was not driving in there and doing it. My son in the car popped it on me. Hey, we're going to get a vaccine today. I said, wait, what? I'm going to need a minute here because I'm still feeling some type of way.
Let's go get a burger first. Hold on.
I said, well, okay, let's make an appointment. He said, no. Walgreens, right there, pull in, boom.
He already did his research.
I said, well, I don't know. He's like, well, I'm getting one, so pull in for me.
Damn.
So
drop me off, Mom.
My friend Howard.
I'm like, okay, I guess if we're going to do this together, if it's going to happen, we're going to do it together. And I hopped up there and got it done.
So my friend Howard Stern said, fuck your freedom. I'll let you play this real quick.
But it's
Which
really
is surprising.
The radio guys are the best. There was like 4 of them died. 4 of them who were like ranting on the air. They will not get vaccinated.
Right.
They were on fire, these guys. It was like day after day. They were all dying. And then their dying words are, I wish I had been more into the vaccine. I wish I had taken it.
You know, I have trouble drumming up compassion.
Damn, I haven't heard Robin's voice.
Oh, Robin. I love Robin.
To not be able to drum up compassion for people that stupid that they wind up dying.
Where do I have that clip of that Mark Bernier guy? Bernier, the guy who died. Oh, I got it. Here it is. This is the guy, I'm not getting the vaccine. Fuck, but that's the guy who died.
That's a great question. And we were going to talk about that as far as the vaccine goes. What about you?
Yeah.
I'm not taking it.
Come on.
Are you kidding me, Mr. Anti-Vax? Sheepers.
Ever?
Cheapers.
No.
Anti-vax. Mr. Anti-vax.
And he died?
Yeah, he's dead. He no longer walks. There were 3 other guys, too.
He no longer walks.
And they're on the radio preaching this shit. I tell you what. As far as I remember, when I went to
the craziest
school,
part.
You had to get a measles vaccine. You had to get a mumps vaccine. You had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
You still
polio.
have to. In order to go to school, you have to have certain vaccines.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Fuck them. Fuck their freedom. I want my freedom to live. I want to get out of the house already. I want to go next door and play chess. I want to go take some pictures.
Man, you know what? I'm almost getting, I got the vaccine, so I'm not against what he's saying, but it's like, I really don't care what celebrity or anybody comes out. And it does matter, though. I shouldn't even say that.
Well, it matters because they have a platform, how many people are gonna, right?
Yeah. And that
so
is
they have a platform and people listen to them. People listen to them. They praise them. They worship them, right? So as a public figure, celebrity, platform, radio host, media, us.
Yeah, if
right?
they can change one person's mind.
You know how many people have messaged me since we've started this podcast a year ago that say, oh my God, thank you for your view. Oh my God, thank you for getting that word out. Thank you for discussing that. Just giving that little bit right there. You are spreading knowledge. You're spreading stuff. Whether it's informative and it's stupid, right? You're still doing that. So to go ahead and instill that fear in people and not give a better accountability for what you stand for, I don't know. I just I can see how they could be upset about it, and I feel that as being a public figure or being somebody who, like you said, celebrities or has a platform.
Oh yeah, I mean,
definitely. Kind of, like, why do you have a platform? You have a platform because you're putting stuff out there. So if you care about the people that watch, do your do your due diligence and be educated, because like you said, here he is on his deathbed. I wish I would have. So were you just doing all that bullshit for, was it your ignorance that took over? Was you doing it for likes? Were you doing it to be cool, to go against the grain? Were you doing it because, oh, I'm so right, or I'm so left, or I'm so
I'll
this,
show you
or snowflake this, or I'm a right? Death is real. You ain't coming back from that. And not one person in the history of ever, never, not 1% of person has come back and said, hey, here I am, I live. No, that's real.
Right. Yeah. And when my aunt passed away, like last year, and it was like, and nobody could go see her, and there was no, I don't know what the funeral arrangements were, nothing. And I'm just, I'm like, I loved my aunt to death. I mean, like, I'm upstairs, I'm in my room, and I'm just like, wow, like, she's gone. And it's like, family, we're all, whatchamacallit, staying in the houses and everything, trying to stay safe. So there was no communication. It was just weird to me. Like, wow, my aunt died, and it's like nobody's talking about it. Like, she's just gone. And that's that. You know what I mean? So that hit me hard. And I was, like, wow. Talked to my mother about it, like, how do you feel? And she was just, supposedly people that had the COVID were around her. And I believe she was like 79, 80 years old, something like that. But either way, I just couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it that she's gone, And I had just seen her not that long ago, So
there you go.
Death is real.
Real.
More than
Jennifer Aniston was in the news lately. Awkward TV interview leaves viewers cringy. Did you catch the story?
No. Fill me in. I didn't see no cringy interview. I just read that she was in the news, but I didn't see what it was. This
was just one of them stories, Tori. Like, if you've seen it, you would be like, oh, okay, maybe she was a little tired, or maybe, you know what I mean? But I was like, I watched it, it was like 5 minutes.
Was she uncomfortable?
I didn't know. I mean, I
didn't
see like, maybe she kind of fumbled her words a little bit of what she wanted to say, but I don't know. I think people would just,
so
just anything to get clicks. It was BBC network. I mean, I didn't see really nothing. It wasn't cringy to me. I mean,
was it in regards to her? Was it the one in regards to her vaccinated friends?
No, this is later.
No, it was just a simple interview.
Yeah.
Because I read that one. They're so judgy of her. They have been her entire career.
If it would have continued on throughout the interview, so the one guy said, "Oh, you don't seem like a morning person," but that was like I said in the beginning when she spoke first, so, and then Reese Witherspoon spoke after. But
okay,
I mean, like I said, she kind of fumbled her words here and there, but I mean, I was like, okay, I was just waiting for it. Like, if she would have continued to, you know what I mean? If she would have been talking like that, like Joaquin Phoenix was when he was on the Tonight Show,
right?
Okay, but I think just
red flag.
People always like throwing darts at Jennifer Aniston, so you already.
They do,
I mean,
too.
I'm like,
because she got that good hair. It's because she got that good hair.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say she got that good coochie. I was like, damn.
She probably got that too.
She looks like she does, but
she looks like she does. She looks like she keep it clean, tight and right.
Reese Witherspoon looks like she did in 1997.
I love me some Reese.
Man, oh man.
Sop her up. I would sop her up with a Witherspoon.
So, Art, I don't know how to say his last name, Mirando. I don't even know. Police Academy. This is he did pass. He was 84. Pretty funny scene from Police Academy.
You should have looked up. You should have looked up.
Go down on his knee, and you'll be nothing but a wait, just for me. Yeah, there will be just for me. Leylah Fernandez, yeah. Yowza. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Oh. Hey. Hey, wait a minute! My hand is stuck to my head. Hey,
his hair was stuck to his head.
See if you can play that what I just sent you. because I don't know if you know his backstory, how he was paralyzed.
No, let me go to it.
He got paralyzed in 1989, I believe.
Okay.
And if you can play that, I'll just let the video speak for itself. But
all right,
I was like, wow. But yeah, he was hilarious. No eyebrows. Remember when he
sit down and talk?
This is after he made a comeback and.
You remember me? I used to be your waiter. Never during dinner. Is everything all right? I close my eyes just for a moment. I see a guy falling from a ladder. The top of his head hit the dirt. He got up, started to walk away, stopped, turned, looked at me, and he smiled. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me. I wasn't dreaming. I was paralyzed. I try to move again, but I form the words.
You can't show the video?
Oh, I can. I just didn't want that.
God.
I don't know if someone.
No, it's an inspiring video. That's why I said it. There's a reason, like he's doing this.
I don't give a shit who the hell he is. You know I can't give this man an MRI or one of those things on.
Meant to be all funny. I was blown away when I seen
it. I gotta ask anyone's help before I hope. The man in the glass. Thinking about quitting. Giving up the game forever. Now I'm willing to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. She reaches for the tube in my penis. This might hurt a little. Then don't touch it. We call it physical therapy. And I'm the preferred partner. I called the king into the room. He said, son, you play with it too long, you're gonna go blind. Dad, I'm over here.
So sad. He was.
Yeah. Well, at the end, if you would have let it, or fast forward to the end, he actually stood up and took a few steps because in '89 he suffered a spinal injury. So I was like, wow, I thought that was pretty inspiring there.
Deb, yeah, he's saying
God bless him.
Howard Sirk, they said they're never going to invite you on the show. You're never going to be on the Friends reunion. So, 84, he died. Sad. I loved him in Police Academy. So we lost another person to fentanyl overdose. He was in The Flash. He was the little kid that played The Flash. They didn't show him much, but he died of fentanyl overdose over the weekend. Yeah. Logan Williams. Sad because he was only a teenager.
He was a baby. He was so young.
Yeah, a lot.
It's just crazy.
That's him as a boy. I think this was in 2014, and Grant Gustin shared that memory. But he was the small version of him at the time.
Oh,
so sad.
Sad.
Any episodes?
Yeah. Sad.
Don't matter your age.
Kim Clark, Director of Quantum Computing at Intel.
Commercial wanted to come on. Tennis. We'll jump over to tennis. This rising star Leylah Fernandez told me to stop playing tennis. You'll never make it. That is crazy that they told her that.
Funny, isn't it? Goes to show you, don't listen to the naysayers. Keep doing your thing.
She's in the finals right now. She is 19. So
players today at 4:00.
Yep, there you go. Mm-hmm. Never listen to the names.
There's always gonna be somebody that says you can't do it. Don't listen to them.
Right. I believe they told Kobe that too. And go on for days, but
so Mr. Orange says, I'll knock Biden the fuck out in the ring.
He's a mess. He's a mess. Mm-hmm.
He said,
I didn't even waste my Wi-Fi to look this story up, man.
Well, anyways, he said, I'll knock him the fuck out.
Well, one of them's running the country and the other one's running boxing matches. So
there you go.
He's just there to collect a check.
Well, we talked about it a little bit. Announcing it, but he's getting an obscene amount of money for calling the Holyfield.
That's the only place he's able to not be censored. So he's like, fuck it, I might as well just get on this. And they're censoring me all everywhere else.
Right.
I'm gonna bring this on.
That's exactly why he's doing it.
I was like, who made this fucking poster?
Great
But
point.
it's a real poster, so let's just show it.
It's a real poster.
There you go.
Oh, Jesus. That's so ridiculous. Who the fuck made this? Look at his hair. So terrible. I heard he spends like $700,000 on his hair a year. Whoever is fucking doing his hair for $700,000 a year needs to be fucking fired. Take their cosmetologist license away.
Who's winning this fight tonight?
Trump.
Right.
Trump.
Yeah.
I think
before it started.
I think Belfort will. Belfort, is that how you say his name? I think he'll win the fight, but I don't know.
Yeah.
My brother just said, "Who's watching tennis?" There's a lot. Hey, man.
I watch tennis. I play
To be
tennis
honest
too.
with
I
you,
love me some tennis.
When Tori was describing the skirts and the swinging and the sweating, I'm like, damn, I'm about to turn on some motherfucking tennis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got tennis courts across the street from my new house. I'm like, I can't wait to get over there. Get out. Hit some balls.
I remember a scene from Sopranos when Adriana was playing tennis, and damn, I had a heart on because they were like, look at that ass. You know what I mean? So
she's hot too.
Hot, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love me some tennis.
Hot Adriana playing tennis.
Right? Listen, a woman with tennis thighs, delicious. Delicious.
Yeah, because Alex like this one black tennis player. Man, she's got some thighs on her and some ass.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. I think we all like her.
Don't you agree, Alex? Yes, amazing.
That's Dom's woman right there.
Let's see if she could squeeze a watermelon and
she would fuck your life up.
That's the name of my car. That's what I named my car after.
You named your car after her?
What did you name your car?
Well, what's her name?
Serena, girl. Serena. Do you say it to her when you walk up to her?
Matter of fact, don't even say her name. Keep it out your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't talk about my girl, bro. Don't bring. She ain't got nothing to do with you. She's at home resting right now.
I can see you.
She'll be back. She'll be
like
your business. That's all. Just mind.
You should keep her name out your mouth.
Right? When you start it, you'd be like, hello.
Yeah, don't even watch her. You hear me?
Right.
Don't even tune in.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack is.
I wish she was playing though, because I would be.
I know, right? She's hot as fuck. I love her.
Alex,
She's a good person too.
Detroit Tigers broadcaster Jack Morris returned from suspension yesterday. Jack is back.
Jack is back.
Yeah, he apologized.
You look unimpressed, Alex.
No, I mean he addressed everybody before the broadcast started.
Did he?
I believe he was sincere, and that was it. You know, and his Matt Shepard, you know, gave him a little pat on the back and all that. So, yeah, he's back. I mean, let's see what happens. You know, if he does it again, you won't see him. So, second chance. Here we go.
Do you think he's eating Chinese food anymore?
Kwong Village? I don't know.
I don't think he should be allowed to eat Chinese food.
I don't know.
I think that should be one of his punishments.
Them guys are probably getting.
I bet you he don't do that shit again.
Served up to them.
No Chinese food for him.
Right. I don't know if they had
that should be his punishment.
No soup for you.
Just like those who talk about Mexicans want to get the wall. Don't you dare let me see you eat one motherfucking taco. I will smack that taco right the fuck out your hand. Bah. No taco, no Taco Bell, no Del Taco, none of that fake shit, none of that. Don't eat a motherfucking refried bean, not one. Nothing.
Right.
You want the wall? You get no tacos. That's it.
No tacos for you, man.
No mas.
I bet you they shut the fuck up real quick.
Real quick with the taco.
None of that.
I know. I see that meme all the time. When you know there ain't no Mexican that he don't understand English and he just smiles real quick. That one.
The one that cuts my lawn. Yeah. I love it too.
They just nod and shit.
He just says.
He needs thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Real quick, that Mexican.
Dame cerveza.
Yeah. So the NFL kicked off yesterday, and I know I didn't put it in there, or it was on Thursday. The Cowgirls put up a good fight, but they just didn't do it. I thought it was a good game. The Lions.
I caught the highlights.
The Lions open up on Sunday. Who does the Lions win, or are they 0-1, and are they the?
I'll be posting that up, so you have to wait and see what my take is on that. I'm gonna post up their schedule, how many wins I think they're gonna get, and then I'm gonna start doing it week by week, just see what happens. But I don't know. I'll tell you this much: I think they're gonna win in between 3 and 5 games, man.
Okay. Are you taking any money on any of those games?
No, I don't bet no more.
All right, and
days are gone. No, I used to do the football sheets.
Are you taking any money on those games?
I'm doing my fantasy football, and that's it. It's funny. I used to at work. We used to always bet each other. And man, I would try to give people good bets. Like I'll take the Lions versus anybody. And then they'll be like, well, give me this game. Give me this game to make up for, this and that. I had to get out of that though. So
yeah,
you can't win or lose with the Lions. You just go nuts.
No. You're gonna spend. Listen, I look at it like this. If I'm gonna spend money, I'm just gonna go buy a hat or some merch because at least I know I'm getting something back.
Right.
I know that. At least there's a delivery on my
decent investment, right? Something out of it.
I don't know about decent, but it's it is what it is. Get something cute.
That's when I hear the Lions. I hear that voice. You can't win, Rock. Oh, I'm sorry.
But we'll see what
I'll go to a game though.
I checked out all the sports that were happening when we go. So I was hoping to go to the Lions game, but they're going to be in Chicago playing the Bears on that weekend that we go. And then I went over to the Pistons. And they're not there as well. The Red Wings are playing the Buffalo Sabres on Thursday, so maybe we'll go to that game. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
And then of course, baseball is over. I think 2 weeks prior to that, or a week prior.
Of course, I didn't get my hot dog.
Hopefully it ain't, but
I didn't get my peanuts.
No, Tigers baseball.
I know. I'm saying hopefully it ain't. The goal is to play until October.
Right.
We got a long way to go from there, but
I'm
happy where they stand. So
I really appreciate everybody tuning in today, catching Gabriela.
Yeah.
Next week we got Spotlight Wednesday discussing the 10 best franchises in the North American pro sports. I know I mentioned the Red Wings. Do you have any idea who else is on that list?
No. Got to do my research.
I was just wondering if you knew. So, how about you, Tori? You know anybody that's on that list? Besides the Red Wings?
No, I don't know.
All right,
that's my Red Wings.
Right.
And then
you got the white headphones. So,
yep.
Go Red Wings colors.
Fancy.
Next Saturday we have Raina. She is a hairstylist in Lansing. She'll be on joining us. And don't forget to join in.
Does she do Donald Trump's hair?
She does.
When he comes into town? Or
Don't put that negativity on her. Don't put that negativity on her.
Right there,
yeah, well, okay, get your bag, girl, but don't be telling nobody because it looks terrible.
Right.
I want to get the. Do they have the Donald Trump Halloween mask?
Of course they do.
They do. They've had it.
Don't come around me wearing that shit.
I actually have a video myself because there was one when Hillary was running, and we had them on in the grocery store, and we were running around talking shit to each other at Kroger.
Scariest mask on the market right there.
Fucking funny. Shit was funny.
Don't forget to tune in to my show on Mondays. It is 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. Public affection. What do you think, Alex? Yes or no? That's the topic on Monday.
I don't do that shit.
No PDA for you?
When I was married, we just didn't.
Wait, why?
We
no PDA?
hold hands, going to the movies and stuff like that. A little bit, but I mean, all over each other type shit. Like one time we went to Big Boys to eat. And this was with an ex-girlfriend a long time ago. And we were sitting, obviously across from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple behind me was sitting on the same side together, and they were making out like hard. Like I didn't realize it. I'm looking at my menu, and she was just like, I look up and she's looking at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, what's wrong? And she was just like, and I turned around and I was like, holy shit, they were just going at it. So it just depends. I mean, holding hands,
right?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna make out in front of.
But I'll smack that ass when you get out.
People or some joking, little stuff like that. Yeah, but
you know what?
I'm not gonna stick my tongue down your throat at a big boy, right?
I got my daughter with me.
No,
come on.
I want to get a shirt. I want to bring back public finger banging. So hey.
Oh, well,
yeah, nobody finger bangers no more. Jeez.
Y'all are funny.
Cool.
You said cool shirt, bro. I like PDA though. Like, yeah, I want you to grab it, smack it, flip it, lick it type shit. Rub it down.
You ever forgot
grip it.
Flip it.
No, holding hands, kissing, touchy, little stuff like that. Sticking your whole fucking arm down someone's throat in public. We can probably save that till we somewhere else, but
if I start some shit,
I feel like you can.
It's gonna go down,
right?
man. I'm not. I like to
Ain't
be at
nothing
home.
wrong
Like
with
I
that.
said before, I like to be at home, comfortable. So
I start some shit. I touch you. We popping tents up in the big boy.
So that's why I don't do that shit.
I love.
In the Fairlane bathroom or some shit. Like what the
me myself and Irene.
Jesus.
I'm okay with a public hard on. It is what it is. It just means you like me.
Right, Alex? Me and Irene, when he pulls a tit out and he starts fucking sucking on her tit.
What?
Where? In Fairlane Mall?
Me, myself, and Irene.
I'm like, I missed this.
He looks down like, what the fuck? He's sucking on my tit.
Yeah, like a baby.
Yeah. So
we don't gotta pull it out and suck it, but you can grab it. It's okay.
That's okay. That's all I had for this show.
Thanks, we could go on. We'll cover it on Monday.
Make sure you go to Word on the Street Pod.
Meet me at Clark Park.
Subscribe. You can see all the guests. So the calendar is built, so you can see future guests. You can see who's coming on the show, so you can tune in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to Word on the Street merch to buy some merchandise. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's been an awesome show. Yeah. So we'll see you next Wednesday. You have anything, Alex?
Nope. Not
Tori?
at all. Just everybody be safe, be safe out there. Have some fun. Be happy. Enjoy yourself. And
happy.
Protect one another.
Safe. You can follow me, Tori Rochelle, on Facebook, at All Beauty All Beast on Instagram, and the Savage Kitty. That's THEE Savage Kitty on Twitter, and Tori_Smooches on Snapchat.
Real quick, God
one
bless
another.
Everybody and anybody that has lost somebody 9/11 or just period.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So all those people on 9/11 that I've been to that wall, and it is, you start tearing up.
Gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It really is.
20-year anniversary today, and I know we talked about it in the beginning of the show. I just didn't want to end it with a sad note, but you can follow me everywhere at Drake Swift on all platforms, even OnlyFans. Alex, where can they find you?
Right there at the bottom. Alex Sportsmouth. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Make sure you guys are always washing your hands, wearing a mask, and washing your ass. So let me play.
We're over and out. Love you guys. God bless. Have a safe weekend.
Let me play this video. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on Wednesday. Happy birthday to my little nephew Max. He turned 6.
Happy
I think.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Max.
When do you turn 6?
Hey, there's our buddy.
In a little bit.
2 days.
Hi, Max. Happy birthday, honey.
It's September 13, 2000.
That's okay. Your whole month this month, you can celebrate. You have a great day today, okay?
I will try.
Awesome.
Happy birthday,
I
bro.
love it.
Thanks, guys. You guys, peace out. Have a safe one.
Peace.
I'll see you soon. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Hey.
Hey.